Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Ork Overview guide. I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know about the Orcs, including all of their units, all of their vehicles, their third unique resource, all of their buildings, everything that you need to know pretty much about the Orcs. So, let's jump into this skirmish match where I've got everything laid out nicely for us. Hopefully we don't get too harassed by the easy AI. They should just leave us alone, but can't guarantee that. So, let's start off here with the Gretchen squad, as this is our builder unit for the Orcs. Very cool little squad here, because you can add more members to the squad for free. 0 requisition, 0 power. Very nice little unit here. We can have up to 4 of them on the battlefield at once. We see there they all are. So 20 of them out on the field at the moment. Very nice right there. And they do have some cool little perks. As we see, we've got Gretchen Infiltration. Allows Gretchens to use their infiltration ability. So basically go invisible, and they can attack while invisible as well. So cool little unit right there. But obviously their main purpose is going to be for building. Here we have all of the Orc buildings. Obviously the settlements, the HQ. Then we've got the Boys Hut, which is just our barracks. Which we'll get to in a minute. We'll get into exactly what's in all of these buildings in just a second. Then we have got the listing post, which is your classic listing post. Cool thing about this faction is that it only costs 90 requisition compared to the standard 100. So a little bit cheaper there for the Orcs. You know, every little counts. Then you've got the generator, 150 requisition for that bad boy right there. Then we get to the War Banner. Now this is where the unique resource comes in, and that's what we've got lined up here. We've got 9 of them, so that's as many as you'll really need in the game. You might want a couple more just for defensive purposes maybe, because this is basically your turret, but it produces your Orc resource. Now this Orc resource is needed to produce more squads. So we can see here, if you want to make a slugger boy squad, you're going to need 4 of that Orc resource. Now you may see it's not going up at the minute, and that's because it's currently capped. So if I were to go out and let's say I lost this army of Storm Boys, and I lose that 4, I believe it's 4, yeah, 4 Orc resource, it'll go up 4 more points here. And then I can obviously train more units. So that's the way that third resource works. It definitely increases the amount of APM you're going to need playing this faction. It's a very high APM faction. For a few reasons, to be honest. 1, because obviously you've got a third resource. 2, because this faction loves to be aggressive. It's a very aggressive faction. So do keep that in mind when you're playing this faction. You know, maybe this isn't the one for you if you have not the greatest APM, which I definitely don't. So, but yeah, that is what the War Banner is. It's also your like turret. So, you know, use it as a turret. It doesn't have a crazy amount of HP, 1,250 for your base. You can upgrade it though. If you see here, we've got a level 2 at 1,900 HP. We can stick the tier 3 on it, see what the health comes to. But a little bit of an unfortunate thing about the War Banner is that it has to be placed within your building radius, which I need a listing post on one of these 2 strategic points to place them. So you can't exactly use it in unconventional places. Like, let's say we wanted to go for a War Banner, you know, on this choke here. It would be, yeah, not really possible. So, moving on. We've got Pile O Guns, which is this building right here, which is our armory. It's where we get all of our juicy upgrades from. Then we have the mech shop. That is our vehicle barracks. And then we have access to all of those lovely units. We're going to get this training just so we can have it on display. It takes quite a while, this guy. So, then we've got the bigger generator, which is the generator for the little piles, but obviously not on this map, so can't get one of those down. And then finally we've got the mine field, which is just a load of mines, which, yeah, nothing special about that for the Orcs. So let's move on to the exciting part, all of the units. So, starting off in the barracks, let's explain how we actually unlock all the units. Because that comes down to the war banner. So, the orcs only have tier 1 and tier 2 with their settlement, which means in tier 1, I mean, it's still, you have access to like the majority of your units in tier 1. You actually unlock them with pop space. So, the more war banners you build, the more population space you're going to get. And the more population space you get, the more units you unlock. So let me give you an example here. We've got the Slugger Boy squad and the Shooter Boy squad. They come in straight away tier 1. You don't need to build any war banners to be able to produce them. The Storm Boy squad, however, you need a population of 30, which means you're going to have to build 2 of these war banners to actually start producing them. Now, you start off the game with 15 population just from your settlement. But if you want to build these guys, you need a population cap of at least 30. So building 2 of these means you're going to have a population cap of 35. And that means you can make them. And then Knob Squad and Tank Busters squads, that's going to be 50. So you're going to need 4 war banners. And things keep scaling from there. And then to upgrade to tier 2, you need 70 population. So you're gonna need 6. Yeah, you're gonna need 6. And then you can upgrade to tier 2, and then you can have your advanced vehicles and also access to the Flash Gits squad. So, something I also forgot to mention, something very, very cool about the orcs here is that pretty much every building comes with a little machine gun on top. As we can see here, all the war banners, they've got their little machine gun, but also, look at this, our settlement has machine guns on. Our armory, our barracks, all has machine guns on. The listing posts come with machine guns on the first tier as well. So let's get one of those constructing. And have a look at this bad boy. I mean, look at this guy. He looks absolutely awesome. We'll get to him in just a moment, but let's start off with the Slugger Boy squad. Let's see actually where have they gone? There they are. So these guys look powerful, right? They look strong. They're big bad orcs, but they're not as strong as they may look. These are basically your scouting units. They're what you're going to be using to capture up strategic points, your critical points, and your relics. So don't think of these as big, strong units that you're going to be using to fight. Obviously, they're okay in the early game, but you don't want to be using these into the mid or late game, which is definitely a mistake I made when I picked up the orcs, because I would think, oh yeah, we can get 15 of these guys in this squad. Let's fully max it out and then, you know, run into the enemy base and just destroy them. But not quite how it works. These guys are definitely not what you want to be carrying into the later stages of the game. Then we've got the Shooter Boy squad. Now these are like your main units. Where are they? Here they are. These are basically your ranged infantry units. Decent squad. We can have up to 8 of them. Very, very nice right there. And we can add the big shooter as well, which is very nice. And then we have got Big Mech. Now this guy, I love him so much. I mean, look how cool he looks. But apart from that, he's got a very cool ability. So let's just stick him to this squad here. Now he has got a teleport ability. Have a look at this. So the green ring here is where we can teleport him to. So this makes him very useful on the field. Let's just teleport him over there. Boom. Look at that. Really, really good mobility. He's a little bit slow when he's obviously not teleporting. But because of that teleport, it makes him quite good at getting around the map. And it doesn't actually take too long to recharge. So, nice little commander right there. Good health. Decent attack, especially when it comes to using that little chainsaw he's got going right there. Moving on, we've got the Storm Boy squad. So these are like the where actually are they? Did we make them? Yeah, they're here. Oh yeah, they're right here. I'm so sorry. I'm so blind. Okay, so these are basically your melee unit, your fast-moving melee unit that can also do their little jump move. So again, great mobility with this. And look at this, 15 units we can have in a squad, which is absolutely amazing. Very, very good at sniping buildings is what I like to use these guys for, because you can just have such a huge amount of them, and having the fly ability is so nice as well. So doing like a little generator snipe with them, or just sending them out to a listing post. Very, very nice. Good mobility. Great all-round unit right there. Then we have got the Knob Squad and the Tank Buster Squad. This unlocks at population cap 50. And that's what we've got here. So this is our anti-vehicle, the Tank Buster Squad. So these are important. This is basically your best anti-vehicle that you can get in the early-ish game. And you can have up to 5 of them in a squad. They're also pretty good at taking out buildings. I mean, they're basically like rocket launchers, right? Anti-vehicle. Very good against buildings and aircraft. As you can see there, effective against aircraft and vehicles equipped with handheld rocket launchers. So that's what you're going to be using them for. And then we've got the Knob Squad. Look at these guys. These guys, you know, do some damage. I mean, look at the health on that. Great health right there. We can have up to 10 of them in a squad. Great melee attack. A little bit slow. I mean, that's not the best movement speed. But if you can get them up close, maybe a little flank attack with them, these guys are going to absolutely destroy the enemy. Moving on, we have got the Flash Gits. Now, this is quite a difficult unit to actually get, because you need to be in tier 2. And to get to tier 2, you need 6 War Banners. Then upgrade to tier 2, and then once you're in tier 2, then you can create this unit. So it takes a while to get to, but one of the strongest units for the orcs right here. Basically just machine guns on these guys. So very, very good into the later stages of the game. So that's pretty much the whole barracks right there for the orcs. Then we have got the mech shop. The mech shop. And this is where we've got all of our vehicles. We've got the war truck, which is our transportation vehicle. So we can stick up to 2 squads in there. There we go. And it does actually do a little bit of damage, because we've got a little guy on top with a little gun. So the vehicle can actually do some damage, which is always nice. But obviously its main use is just for transport. And we've got turbo boost here as well. Puts the vehicle into turbo mode. And temporarily increases the vehicle's movement speed. You can see how much of a difference it makes there. Quite significant. But moving on to the next vehicle, we've got the War Track. Now, this vehicle is effective against aircraft and vehicles. So this is your later stage game anti-vehicle, which is this guy here. But it's a little bit difficult to get into combat. You know, sometimes it can be difficult getting through armies of infantry. So, you know, these guys do still have their uses, being ranged. But it's always nice having those options. Next up, we've got the Killer Khan, our walker vehicle. And that's this guy right here. Look how cool this guy looks. He's like a little walking crab. Very strong up close. Up against pretty much anything. It's very good all-rounder, just very slow and very difficult to actually get into the position you want it to be in. Then we have got the Fighter Bomber, which is this right here. I mean, this is the definition of orcs right here, isn't it? Look at this. A rickety old plane that looks like it's about to crash any second. But that's what orcs are all about. They're a very sort of weak but strong at the same time. They've got high DPS but very low hit points, right? You're just throwing as much as you can at the enemy with this faction, and just trying to destroy them with as much crap as you've possibly got. So Fighter Bomber here, good vehicle. You know, it's their only air vehicle, so you know, good mobility. As you can see, up and down cliffs right there. And then we have got the looted tank. Now, I can't actually make this because we're at population cap. And we can't actually go above 20. Despite, you know, if I make more war banners, my population will not go above 20. So, I don't have one of those out on the field. I'll just, I'll delete this. And then we can get that creating. There we go. But then, finally, we've got the Squigloth. Now, this is very difficult to get to because you have to also capture a relic. I mean, that's not the most difficult, but you have to capture the relic. You have to be tier 2, so 70 populations to 6 banners. And then also you have to upgrade heavy weapons. Same for the looted tank. So these two here, you have to have heavy weapons to actually create these. So a little bit difficult to get to this point, but look at this bad boy. He is so strong. You know what? We're actually going to send him into the enemy base so you can just have a look at the sort of damage this guy actually does. Because 11,000 HP on this bad boy is quite a bit. But the looted tank here, 5,000 HP. It's your basic tank unit. You know, you got some good weapons on there. You got a little side guns and obviously the big cannon on top. So that's pretty much all the units that the orcs have to have, or the orcs have access to. Sorry. We've got the war boss and the mega armored knobs as well. Where actually are they? Oh, there's the war boss. So he's a commander unit. He looks very, very cool. He's got the power of the war. Oh, there we go. Look at this. Let's do a stomp attack on. I mean, not too much damage on buildings, but it's mainly up against big masses of units that it's effective against. I want to see the stomp here. Bang! Look at that. Taking barely any damage. I mean, this is such a cool unit, right? Definitely a late game unit. I mean, not something you're going to be getting every game. But barely any damage being done to him with the amount of guardsmen here for our Imperial Guard AI. But anyway, back over here, we've got the war boss. And then we've also got the mega armored knobs, which we can only have 4 of, which is fine. And then we've also got Power Surge. Power Surge is a cool ability. So these are like your late game melee units. Very slow, but if you use this ability, look at that. Look at the movement speed. Look at the movement speed he's got. Crazy movement speed. However, he does take quite a bit of damage. Look at that. He takes some health off himself to be able to do this. He's sacrificing himself for the movement speed. But definitely good in certain situations. Oh, look at that. Crazy, crazy stuff right there from the Squigloth. So that's pretty much everything there unit-wise for the orcs. Very, very good faction. You know, it's a beginner basic, right? Up there with the Space Marines. Hopefully you've learned something from this. Hopefully, you know, you got a bit of an overview of what the orcs are all about. Very strong when it comes to defense. Very strong when it comes to being aggressive. Great all-rounder faction. Just, it comes down to that APM. Have you got enough APM to be able to have squad sizes of 15 with a third resource to manage as well? I've got a guide coming out either tomorrow or the day after. Or if you're watching this in the future, there will be a guide on the channel for a build order with the orcs. So if you want to check that out, it'll be at the end of this video in a little pin card. If it's not there, well, it's not been uploaded yet. Apologies for that. But if you did enjoy it, leave a like, comment, let me know what you thought of the guide, and I'll catch you guys for some more Dawn of War content in the next one.